Alright guys, pleasure to see you guys again. I'm doing another analysis of a game. Please feel free to submit games to me if you want me to analyze them. I would especially like to see ones you guys find interesting. I'm still climbing through the levels. I'm sitting around the 2,000-2,100 mark right now, so I'm analyzing games in the 12 to 1400 because I feel more comfortable with that. And I feel like there's a lot going on at this level. So let's get us started. We have I should probably click on the main screen here and let's see what these players did, what they can do better, what was terrible. Okay, we're gonna turn off stockfish. There we go. So we have an e4, always e4. There's always an e4. It's always an e4, e5. Okay, do we have an Italian game? Oh, okay, so the problem, computer doesn't like this move. And we're gonna turn off all of these evaluation, annotation on the board, best move arrow. Yeah, there we go. Turn all that off. So, okay, this move we don't love. Reason being that bishop can't get out. So now black is going to be hampered to doing one of these if they want to use this bishop at all, or maybe doing this and this, trying to find a way out. You always want to get that bishop out before you push that pawn. So black is kind of tying their shoes here. Okay, white goes in sort of standard Italian, lots of pieces controlling here, laying a threat down on this, threatening the potential of possibly later after a push, maybe getting this in here, threaten this way, do a fried liver attack. Okay, so we have a standard knight out, counter-threatening this pawn, which is actually not really a threat because white wants to do this anyway because they have their like squared bishop developed, so they get this out. That's fine, they might also castle, but most likely you want to defend that pawn first. Okay, so free pawn. Take it. Good. Now that knight couldn't be really annoying. You basically have two pawns that can kick it out. What you're looking at, and I mean, if you can provoke these moves, then you might be able to find a different square somewhere else, say there, here, to eventually exploit this position. Like, this is just nice. If you had a dark squared bishop out, this would be even nicer, because you could just take that and do this. I mean, two pieces for a rook is not generally considered that good, but I mean, you're also exposed to the king, so it might be worth it. So, queen threatening, knight. Interesting move would have been also this at this point. You know, defend and attack. Why not? Ooh! I like the cut of your jib, black. Yes, yes. Okay. So there is a problem with this. And the problem is that if you do take, that this knight is then going to be hanging. So, not great. Also, that pawn is now hanging. Yeah. So, gonna threaten that knight out. Okay, so the nice thing is now you've opened up this dark squared bishop. You gotta be real careful though, because this is a real dangly little knight here. I mean, once that rook comes in, there's a very good chance you're gonna lose it. Yeah, case in point. So here's a question for you guys: do you take this or not? I would say most certainly do not, because after you take it and say they take back, they have lovely little tempo moves like this. So that would be check, threat on the queen. If the queen moves here, you're still threatening it. So that's just would become an auto win for white. So do not take that. Okay. Why did I not pay attention to the fact that that knight was hanging? I don't know why that just completely eluded me. That's really funny. So we got this. I mean, they could do this and then this if you want, or you can do that and then that. Now, because you have the pawn in the middle, but also your king is still really weak. You gotta get out, get castled. Like, stat. Okay, so capture. Okay. I'll be honest. Oh, yeah, I think the bishop's better in this case. I just like, at this point, like, I'm real nervous about this king. He's just standing out in the open. I want to put as many pieces in front of him as possible, so I was tempted to do this to even slow that down for one tempo, to just boop, 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 and then they take the last pawn. And then you're not in a scary position. But the problem being that this bishop also blocks you from castling that way. And as a general rule, bishops are better than knights. So bishop captures, we have a check. Probably not necessarily a pointless check, because they're now threatening to take this pawn. So while you can defend like this, it's really more or less useless. At this point, I would even just consider trying to start castling by hand, so that they could take that pawn, bring the rook out. Yeah, there. Bishop out. Got this, 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 this. Not the best transformation. Like, fixes your pawn structure, actually. And then you can bring this rook in and play it out from there, because you are up a piece. So exchanges are not the worst for you. That is probably how I would play this. Did I say move your king there? You obviously can't. Yeah. I guess you'd have to do maybe that, then this. It's kind of ugly. That. Expect this to happen. You've got that. Yep, that's what I would do. Okay. So I wouldn't do that. It's a good move if this is a defended pawn, but it is not. Now you're in a terrible situation because you're also now, with this queen move happening here, you're giving square for this knight to go to. I wonder if there's tactics from here for this knight to just do something ridiculous. Also, now you're losing that rook. I mean, but first, it's for a knight, so it's not like it's for absolutely nothing. Now you have some counterplay, but again, your king is sort of shit. Just saying. This is not a good spot. Yeah, he's just gonna pick up some pawns. Okay. Whoa. Sorry about that. Hotkeys on my mouse. Okay, so this is obviously threatening a check. This could be threatened if they can get defended, so be worried about that. I would even just consider doing this. Actually, even trying to threaten a checkmate of your own, doing one of these or there and then there. That's kind of tempting. But get these pieces into the game and try and castle long if you can. That's your only chance for safety. Okay, that's not bad. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so take. Check. Deflect the king this way, then you're gonna have trouble getting all these pieces out. So maybe even just doing this. Yeah. Then they have to take, sack the pawn. It's a crappy structure for them anyway. Then come in here, bring the rook in, long castle. You've got this line. Still, you're down in exchange, but you're up a piece. So really, you should be okay in a position like that. I'm guessing that you capture, which actually positionally is going to screw you over. Yeah. So yes, now this is being threatened. You could do that, but I did this here. And there's not really a good way to deal with this. I mean, you could... What can you do here? What are you gonna do? Yeah. Yeah, that's a win for white. Oh, white! What are you doing? Oh, my soul! So we've been watching that move line up for 4 or 5 moves. It's been set up, but it's just not been executed. As soon as you see that queen just standing in front of an open king, first of all, an open king, you're watching for checks. The second thing you're looking for is you're looking for pins. That is right here. So this would have been just an exchange, and king would have moved, and you just have, oh, you can't move there because this, so yeah, that's basically checkmate. So this comes in, then you'd have this, you have this, and you have this, and then it's just checkmate. That's literally just at that point, you just basically have a mating attack here. Okay, so, yeah, could have done that a move earlier, buddy, and you would have, instead of won a pawn, you would have won a queen. Okay, yeah, so you see the pin this way. So here's an interesting thing. If you move this, now all of a sudden you are threatening that. But the problem being that there's 2 attackers on this, so you're just in a bad situation now. Okay, so white I would have taken with a queen, and just been 2 rooks and a bishop versus knight bishop for a rook with a much safer king. Also your 3 pawns up. Sometimes at this point there's a chance for black to get some counterplay and just strike back. You know what an interesting move would be here? Maybe it's dumb, but probably dumb actually, because after check there's nothing. Yeah. Okay, trying to counterpin, get some counterplay. Also, white needs to watch for back rank checkmates. Right now everything is defended by the rook and also the queen. But this rook could deflect that one. You could get away, so do something to deflect that rook. Okay, got this, got this. Yeah. Okay. Nice. Okay. Why is it there? This is me. Just a flex. Just a flex. We're just gonna go in and say, I got a mate. You got nothing you can really do about it, so enjoy. Oh, well, that was a good game. Some really, really good play from both sides there. Some key moves for sure. Missed opportunity by far for white right here. And big blunder with this move with black. This just ends up losing this and this. Fairly common tactic is kind of the two-way check. The queen coming out early. You just always got to watch for both of these spots. It's almost a sneaky attack because they're trying to make you think that their attack's coming from one direction, and then you're like, haha, I have a brilliant defense, when you really are just, by moving that pawn, you're just exposing your rook. So, I mean, you're better off to just move, because you're going to end up moving that king anyway. Like, you don't really have any choice. It's not like you're going to, yeah. So, great game. As always, I'm going to message the players and let them know that I've done an analysis of one of their games, and, yeah, maybe they have something to learn from it. If you guys have any suggestions or want to submit any games for me to analyze, see what the big maneuvers are, or any suggestions you have that I have for positions like this, for how to think going forward, feel free to message me. And please, 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 please subscribe. Subscribe to my channel. Follow me on Twitch. I do this every now and again. I need to be more consistent, but yeah, follow me. Have a good night, guys.